Hi everyone, today we are focusing on the hero's journey. The hero's journey, what is the hero's journey? It's based off of Joseph Campbell's archetypical hero journey structure that is common in mythology and many stories in all cultures. The hero's journey teaches us that in order to be successful in our personal journeys, we must be able to observe and reflect on what we learn. The hero's journey is, as we said, an archetypical story. It's often used in movies like Star Wars, Harry Potter, The Hunger Games, and The Wizard of Oz. It's also used in video games. The story structures everywhere, including our own lives and our own personal legend. It is also in The Alchemist, which we have already read, and we will be reading The Odyssey in the spring, which they are both hero's journeys. And the hero's journey typically follows 12 stages. The first stage, the ordinary world. In this stage, we see the hero's normal life and everyday life before their adventure begins. The alchemist, Santiago, is a sheep herder living in a very mundane existence. He's just following the sheep. In Star Wars, Luke Skywalker is very similar, living this mundane farm boy life. In the second level, it's now a call to adventure. The hero or protagonist is faced with some problem, a conflict, or a challenge that forces them to strike out on the adventure and leave what they know behind. In The Alchemist, Santiago's reoccurring dream that he finds treasure in the pyramids that is brought to him by a child who tells him the location, but before he can hear it, he wakes up. Like Santiago, Luke Skywalker activates a message from Princess Leia to Obi-Wan Kenobi through R2-D2 and becomes very intrigued. He is then reminded of his Jedi heritage by Obi-Wan Kenobi, who has saved his life. 3. The third stage is a refusal to the call. On the hero's journey, which is our own, we also have the refusal to go on the adventure, to leave everything that is comfortable and familiar, often mundane. It's a hard choice to show that we might be vulnerable. We have to stop and realize it's not going to be easy, but staying wouldn't be either. In The Alchemist, Santiago stands at the gate of the ticket booth to buy a ticket for a boat that goes to Africa, but he backs away out of fear, which is similar to the ferryman Charon, who takes the dead across the river Styx to the underworld, which is part of the hero's journey. In Star Wars, Luke doesn't want to take Kenobi and the droids all the way on their journey, but he agrees to drop them off at the spaceport because he can't leave behind his aunt and uncle who need him, which is a lot like The Wizard of Oz. In the fourth stage, meeting the mentor, the hero refuses to the call of adventure or the change because it's too easy to stay. The hero needs someone who is going to push them to hear the call. They appear. Santiago meets the old gypsy woman and Melchizedek. Star Wars, Obi-Wan is Luke's mentor, as well as Yoda in the later episodes. The hero leaves behind their life for a new adventure, which is crossing the threshold. They are moving into a different existence. In the Alchemist, Santiago leaves his life as a sheep herder behind to ride a boat to Tangier. That is crossing the threshold. He leaves to another world, literally. Star Wars, Luke learns the stormtroopers went to the farm and murdered his family, so he has nothing to go back to. Then he commits to being a Jedi warrior, just like his father, crossing the threshold to another existence. Tests allies and enemies. The hero here is tested when he meets allies and friends and helpers on the journey to fight against the enemies. The alchemist Santiago is robbed and then meets a crystal merchant who helps him. He also has a dream to make a journey to Mecca, but he never makes the journey, the crystal merchant, so he has never gone on the adventure. In Star Wars, Luke, Kenobi, and the droids hire Han Solo to help transport them, and Luke begins his training in the ways of the Force. In Stage 7, the innermost cave, in the journey there is no time to pause and gather strength with helpers. Actually, there is time, and friends to prepare for what lies ahead. The alchemist, Santiago, has time to contemplate and pray with the others in the caravan as they cross the desert. As in Star Wars, Luke prepares for the journey, and Kenobi begins to show him how to use his lightsaber. So that's a moment where there's contemplation before making the move into the adventure, which is Stage 8, the ordeal. The ordeal is something that the hero must overcome. The hero must use their skills to overcome the darkness or the enemy. The alchemist, Santiago, becomes a better person for meeting the alchemist, which means changing something. The alchemy of something is being changed. He learns he can change into wind, which is symbolic that he's part of nature and transformative and able to perform miracles for that matter. And he also realizes he actually has love for Fatima. So he wants to make plans for her, but he's still like in an ordeal because he hasn't moved past it. In Star Wars, Darth Vader kills Obi-Wan Kenobi, and now Luke must overcome everything on his own. Everything he taught him, he gave him something, but he must now do it on his own. Stage 9 is the reward, where the hero gains something after overcoming a challenge. In The Alchemist, Santiago learns of his powers turning into wind, and he realizes his true love for Fatima, which gives him something to look forward to. In Star Wars, Luke takes down the Empire and joins the Republic. The road back. Stage 10, the road back. The protagonist is willing to recommit to continue on their journey. There's no place like home. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel, but many challenges are ahead. In The Alchemist, Santiago leaves the oasis, although the alchemist says he could herd sheep and marry Fatima and live there. He leaves the oasis, although it is comfortable, to continue on his journey. The Wizard of Oz. In The Wizard of Oz, the wizard gives the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Lion the elixirs, the rewards. And Dorothy is about to go home, but Toto runs off, and then Dorothy is faced with more challenges. In the resurrection stage, it's the final face-off with the darkness. This is when the hero realizes where they have been and become in the process by encountering evil. They are the hero. Santiago is beaten up at the pyramids, but he doesn't give up. On his journey, he realizes where the treasure is, and he gains new hope and is fully resurrected. In The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy finally realizes she had the power the whole time when she was given the shoes at the very beginning. She had it all along. The return with the elixir. The hero returns back home as a changed person, a hero. The balance of their life has been returned, and the struggle of the journey has been resolved until the next adventure calls again. In The Alchemist, Santiago finds his treasure buried deep under a sycamore tree. He can now return to Fatima and marry her. He's fully transformed individual. In The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy returns home as a different person as well. She has a new confidence and that she can achieve anything. What do we learn from these heroes' journeys and personal legends? We learn that as we mature, we learn more about life and what our goals are. Our goals are not achieved without learning lessons along the way. The only thing you can fail at is not chasing your dreams because they seem out of reach. This is our personal journey, and the universe conspires to see us win. In the end, the hero's journey reminds us in all of those stories, we can look past the symbolism and motives and realize these stories are about us. It is to remind us that our pain has meaning, and if we rise up and carry on and tap into the strength that lies dormant until you need it, we are the heroes. Be your own hero.